Welcome to Specific Focus. Today I invite you to slow down, take a deep breath, and reflect gently with me on an idea that holds the key to mastering your mind and mastering your life. That idea is self-discipline. And the truth is, self-discipline doesn't begin with grand gestures or dramatic changes. It begins quietly with small daily choices that over time shape who we become. Picture for a moment the gentle power of small choices. Every morning when you wake up, you face a decision. Will you get out of bed at the time you promised yourself, or will you choose another hour of sleep, knowing it might throw off your day? When you sit down to eat, will you choose food that nourishes your body, or food that only comforts you for a fleeting moment? When someone says something that stirs your emotions, will you respond with calm and kindness, or will you let anger take over? These moments may seem small, even invisible to others, but they are where self-discipline is born. Each of these choices is like a brick, a small piece of the foundation of your future. One brick may not seem like much, but when you lay brick after brick, day after day, you build something strong, something lasting. Many people think self-discipline is about controlling big things, changing your whole life overnight, creating massive success all at once. But in truth, self-discipline is about the quiet, patient work of choosing well, moment by moment. It's about being gentle, but firm with yourself. It's about keeping the promises you make to yourself, even when no one is watching. Think of how a tree grows, not in leaps, not in bursts, but little by little. Each day the tree reaches a little higher. Each day its roots grow a little deeper. Your self-discipline grows in the same way. It is not loud, it is not showy, but it is steady, and over time it creates a strength within you that no one can take away. Let's consider some of these small daily choices where self-discipline takes root. Waking up when you said you would. Spending 10 quiet minutes in reflection or gratitude instead of reaching for your phone. Taking time to plan your day rather than letting the day carry you where it will. Choosing water over soda. Choosing to listen rather than interrupt. Choosing to pause and breathe before you react. These choices might feel too small to matter in the moment, but they matter deeply. They are how you build trust with yourself. Each time you follow through on a small promise, you send a quiet message to your mind. I can depend on myself. And with that trust comes confidence. With that trust comes peace. You don't need to be perfect. There will be days when you slip, when the easier choice pulls you in. That is human. What matters is that you return, gently, to the path of discipline. What matters is that you keep laying those bricks, one at a time, of strength brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day. And in time, you will look back and see that those small daily choices have built a life of quiet power, a life of true freedom. Thank you for sharing this gentle reflection today. May your small choices today guide you toward the strength and peace you seek. Welcome back to Specific Focus. I invite you again to take a deep breath, let your body relax, and open your heart to this gentle reflection. Today, let's explore a truth that may feel surprising at first, that freedom, true freedom, cannot exist without discipline. In fact, freedom without discipline is an illusion. When many people hear the word freedom, they picture a life without rules, a life where you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. It sounds good, doesn't it? The idea of no limits, no restrictions, no boundaries. But let's look a little closer. Let's look at what really happens when we try to live that way. Imagine someone who decides that true freedom means saying yes to every desire, every craving, every impulse. They stay up all night because they feel like it. They eat whatever tastes good in the moment, without thinking about health. They skip work or study because they don't feel like it today. They avoid hard conversations because it's easier not feel like it today, to face them. At first, this might feel like freedom, but slowly, without noticing, this person becomes a prisoner, not of rules, not of society, but of their own impulses. They become trapped in a cycle of short-term pleasures that leave long-term pain. Their health begins to suffer. Their relationships become shallow or strained. Their dreams drift further away because they never take the disciplined steps needed to reach them. Without discipline, freedom turns into chaos. And in chaos, there is no peace. There is no lasting joy. There is only a restless search for the next distraction, the next comfort, the next escape. Now, let's look at another picture. Picture someone who chooses discipline, someone who rises each day with a plan, not because they have to, but because they choose to. Someone who sets boundaries for themselves, not to limit joy, but to protect it. Someone who says no to what harms them and yes to what helps them grow. This person may have fewer fleeting pleasures, but they have more deep satisfaction. They have clarity. They have strength. They have peace. Why? Because their freedom is real. It is not based on impulse. It is based on intention. Self-discipline gives you the power to choose your response, not be ruled by reaction. It allows you to shape your days instead of being shaped by your moods or cravings. It gives you the quiet strength to build the life you truly want, not just the life that feels easy right now. True freedom is not the absence of discipline. It is built upon discipline. Without it, our lives are like ships without a captain, tossed about by every wave. With it, we become captains of our own ship, guiding it toward a meaningful destination. Self-discipline allows you to delay gratification, to say, I will wait, I will work, I will build, because I want more than a moment's pleasure. I want lasting peace. I want true freedom. Choices bring you the true freedom that discipline offers. Welcome to this moment of reflection on specific focus. As you sit with me today, I invite you to pause, breathe, and be fully present. We are exploring how self-discipline is not just about habits or routines. It is deeply connected to your identity, to your integrity, and to the person you are becoming every single day. Your identity is shaped, quietly and powerfully, by the choices you make. Every small act of self-discipline strengthens that identity. Each time you choose to follow through on a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you are telling your mind and your heart, I am someone who can be trusted. I am someone who lives with intention. I am someone who honors my word. Think for a moment about what it means to keep a promise to yourself. It could be as simple as drinking more water, going for a short walk, or spending a few minutes in quiet reflection. These promises may not seem big, but when you keep them, you build trust with yourself. And when you build trust with yourself, your confidence begins to grow. Your sense of who you are becomes clearer, stronger, and more peaceful. Without self-discipline, this trust begins to fade. When we break our own promises again and again, we begin to doubt ourselves. We begin to feel lost, unsure of our direction, unsure of our strength. We may even begin to feel that our identity is shaky because it is not being built on the solid foundation of integrity. But here's the gentle, powerful truth. You can always begin again. Every act of discipline, no matter how small, is a chance to rebuild that trust, to strengthen your identity, to align who you want to be with how you actually live. Integrity means wholeness. It means that what you say and what you do are in harmony. It means that your outer life matches your inner values. Discipline is what makes this possible. Without it, our actions drift away from our beliefs, and we feel that inner conflict, that quiet tension that tells us something is out of place. When you practice discipline, you bring your actions and your values together. You create that inner alignment. You create peace, because you know that you are living on purpose.
This peace is not loud. It is not dramatic, but it is steady. And it gives you the strength to face life's challenges with clarity and courage. Think about a time when you felt proud of yourself, not because of a big achievement, but because you stayed true to your values in a small moment. Maybe you spoke the truth when it was hard. Maybe you kept working on a task when it would have been easy to quit. Maybe you stayed kind when you could have reacted with anger. Those moments matter deeply. They shape your identity, they remind you, this is who I am, and they strengthen your integrity, making you whole, steady, and strong. Self-discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. It is about returning again and again to the person you want to be. It is about choosing to act in a way that honors your deepest values, even when it is hard, even when no one else sees, even when it would be easier to go another way. So today, I invite you to ask yourself, what small act of discipline can I practice that will strengthen my identity? What promise can I keep to myself that will build my integrity? As you reflect, remember this. Every small act of discipline is a quiet victory, a step toward becoming the person you want to be, a step toward living with honesty, with purpose, with peace. Thank you for sharing this space today. May your small acts of discipline bring you closer to the strength, clarity, and integrity that live within you. Welcome back to this peaceful space on specific focus. I invite you once more to take a slow, deep breath, to settle into this moment, and to allow your mind to become quiet, open, and ready to receive. Today, we reflect together on how self-discipline is not just about achieving goals, It is the foundation that brings order to your life. And with that order comes peace. Picture for a moment a cluttered room, clothes scattered, papers in messy piles, objects tossed in random places. In such a space, it is hard to think clearly. It is hard to relax. The disorder around you seeps into your mind, creating restlessness, frustration, even anxiety. Now imagine that same room, clean, tidy, everything in its place. The air feels lighter. Your thoughts feel clearer. You can breathe, think, and simply be in peace. This is what self-discipline offers. It creates order, not only in your surroundings, but deep within your heart and mind. Discipline is the quiet builder of this order. When you choose to live with discipline, you choose to bring structure where there was chaos. You choose to bring harmony where there was noise. Order is not about perfection. It is not about creating a life where nothing ever goes wrong. It is about creating a foundation, a steady base from which you can face life's challenges with clarity and strength. Discipline gives you this base. It helps you shape your days with intention, instead of being swept along by distraction or impulse. Let's look at how this happens in daily life. When you set a time to wake up and you keep that promise, you bring order to your morning. When you create a gentle routine, perhaps a moment of reflection, a walk, a simple healthy meal, you are building a rhythm that calms your mind. When you choose to focus on one task at a time, rather than jumping from one thing to the next in chaos, you create a sense of control and peace. Discipline also helps you manage your energy. When you choose what matters most and let go of what drains you, you are protecting your peace. When you say no to unnecessary distractions, you are saying yes to your well-being. These small acts of self-discipline create space for rest, for focus, for joy. Without discipline, our lives often feel scattered. We move from task to task without purpose. We react instead of responding thoughtfully. We feel overwhelmed because the pieces of our life are not connected by intention. But with discipline, we create threads of order that weave our days together. These threads create a fabric of peace, a life where we can stand steady even when storms come. And here is something gentle and powerful to remember. Order and peace are not destinations. They are practices. They are built through small daily choices. You don't need to create a perfect life overnight. Begin with one area, one habit, one space, one part of your day where you can bring discipline and order. Perhaps you start by making your bed each morning. Perhaps you choose to spend 5 minutes in silence before beginning your work. Perhaps you plan your meals so that you nourish your body with care. These small acts are powerful. They are how discipline builds order. They are how order brings peace. As you walk this path, you will notice something beautiful. The more order you create through discipline, the more peace you feel, and the more peace you feel, the easier it becomes to choose discipline again. It becomes a gentle, strengthening cycle. So today, I invite you to reflect quietly. Where is there disorder in your life that steals your peace? What small act of discipline can bring order to that space? Begin there. Let it be simple. Let it be simple. Let it be kind. Thank you for sharing this gentle reflection today. May your small acts of discipline build the order and peace you seek. Welcome back to this space of quiet reflection on specific focus. I invite you now to take a slow, deep breath, to feel the stillness of this moment, and to join me in exploring a truth that can bring lasting strength and peace. Self-discipline is not a one-time decision. It is a lifelong journey, a path we walk each day with patience, with kindness, with intention. Many people think of discipline as something you either have or don't have, as if it is a switch you can turn on once and everything falls into place. But the truth is gentler and deeper. Discipline is not a single moment of willpower. It is not about a perfect plan or a dramatic change that happens overnight. Discipline is a quiet companion that walks beside you for life. It is something you practice again and again through every season, through every challenge, through every joy. There will be days when discipline feels easy, when you feel motivated, clear, and strong. On those days, your choices flow naturally. You rise early, you follow your routines, you stay focused on what matters. And there will be other days when you feel tired, when the path feels hard, when you are tempted to give in to distraction or comfort or ease. These are the days when the practice of discipline matters most. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about returning to your purpose, returning to your values, returning to the promises you've made to yourself, even after you fall, even after you stray. Discipline invites you back. It says, begin again. You are not starting over. You are continuing the journey. Think of discipline like tending a garden. You do not plant seeds once and expect the garden to care for itself forever. Each day you return. You water. You pull weeds. You watch for signs of growth. Some days you will see clear progress. Other days you will see nothing at all. But the quiet work of tending day after day brings the harvest in time. The same is true of self-discipline. Each small act, each choice to rise, to care, to act with intention, strengthens your mind, your heart, your life. These choices build over time. They create a strength within you that no storm can shake. And as you walk this lifelong path of discipline, you will come to see it not as a burden, but as a gift. Discipline is what allows you to live with integrity, to live with peace, to live with freedom. It gives shape to your days. It helps you build a life of meaning, a life where you are not tossed about by every impulse or distraction, but guided by your deepest purpose. So I invite you today to reflect gently. How can you embrace discipline as a lifelong companion? What small act can you choose today, knowing that it is part of a greater journey? A journey of becoming, a journey of mastering your mind, a journey of mastering your life. Remember, you do not walk this path alone. Each time you choose discipline, you are joining countless others who have chosen to live with purpose. Each time you return to the path, you strengthen not just yourself, but the world around you. Thank you for sharing this space of reflection today. May your journey of discipline bring you the strength, clarity, and peace that last a lifetime.